Thank you for tuning in to watch our Invest Greater Boston launch conference. You're about to watch panel number 1, Integral Partners, how life sciences and higher education are working together to shape Boston's future. Enjoy.
No worries, but the last thing that begins with an SC has been pronounced in many different ways over the years, so take this in fashion. I'm Chet Zadlak, I'm Executive Vice President of Enterprise Bank and Trust Company, and the Keep Sand, Commanding and Customer Relations for Boston. I'm very fortunate to have with me a good group of my colleagues here this morning who oversee our marketing, our sales, our community, our customer experience, as well as accounting areas. It's a pleasure to be invited this morning to be a presenter. A little fast to just give a little background with Enterprise Bank. We're a commercial bank built in Lowell, Massachusetts. We have a number of our friends in Lowell here this morning, including the mayor and the city manager, so it's great to see them. We were founded in 1989. We have over 600 team members currently. We've had a very successful expansion into the Southern New Hampshire market, where we have a number of branches. We have 27 branches in total. As mentioned, we are a commercial bank, so we focus on commercial real estate, have a good deal of construction lending that we do. Very focused on C&I lending in the Merrimack Valley in Southern New Hampshire, from Worcester County, and also Greater Boston. And also, we've really been able to develop our cash management services over the years too. The bank is about $5 billion in size right now, and on top of that, we have about another $1 billion plus in wealth management that we manage. So they're, I guess, technically Enterprise Bank plus company, so that extra 1.8 whatever billion is in that trust area. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce for the first subject matter, which is how life sciences and higher ed are shaping Boston's future and what challenges must be overcome. If I could invite back to the stage our moderator, Abby Lindenberg, as well as our panelists, Julie Chen, the Chancellor of UMass Lowell, as well as Sohail Masood, the founder and chairman and CEO of KabaFusion. I think you'll really enjoy this panel. Thank you.
Thank you very much to my panelists for being here today. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. Life science and Boston go hand in hand. Higher education and Boston go hand in hand. And so I can't think of a more worthy discussion to kick off today's event. I have two very knowledgeable representatives to my left. And to kick things off, I wanted to ask something a little less serious, because we'll get into all those wonderfully serious questions. Could you please reintroduce yourselves? And as we're just about to be celebrating Thanksgiving, as we are in a very historical city, can you tell us some tradition that you have each Thanksgiving? Julie, if I could start with you.
Sure. Thanks, Abby. Morning, everybody. I'm Julie Chen. I'm the Chancellor at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. And Thanksgiving tradition is smaller for my family. Is actually my brother's on the West Coast, so we don't make the flight out there for Thanksgiving. We usually do that for the Christmas holidays. So Thanksgiving for us is always Friendsgiving. And so we get together with a bunch of friends, usually the weekend after Thanksgiving, and basically everybody brings all their leftovers so that we have a chance to consume those and not consume them over the next 4 weeks. So that's our tradition for Thanksgiving.
Excellent. Something else? For the Masood family, the flow event for me is to get everybody together. So the Thanksgiving is the best time to have fun and entertainment. But this year is very different. But this year we have our first great child who will enjoy the Thanksgiving with us. We're thinking how we're going to dress him up. So he had a kid with 3 months old. So this is how it works with Thanksgiving in our family, thinking about whether we are turkey or something else.
We'll get you a river pot once.
My suggestion to Sohail with the new family member was when my niece was born. She's an October baby. And so the tradition became shoving her into the turkey or pretending to. And she's 10 now, so it's a little impossible. But, when she was tiny, you could try and pretend, but not so much anymore. We were thinking about doing it until she was 18, but, that gets embarrassing. Teenagers. Anyway, starting off, Boston has long been recognized as a hub for life science and education, with emerging challenges like talent shortages and supply chain disruptions. How is the region positioned to leverage its strengths in these sectors to drive future growth? This is posed to both of you, either Julie or Sohail, either one can start.
I'll start. So I think that a lot of times in Massachusetts, we tend to focus on some of the negatives that we have, right? Cost too much, traffic is terrible. I think we need to recognize what benefits we have, what strengths we have here that make other states want to really be who we are. And so we need to recognize that there are opportunities because, obviously speaking from higher ed, we've got this great higher ed community that generates the talent that companies want. And it's ultimately that we need to leverage. We need to understand how do we keep more of those 500,000 college students that are here in Massachusetts and have them want to stay in the Commonwealth. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity here to connect between industry and academia and government to make sure we're providing things like internships, to make sure that we're making college students aware that, sure, it might cost $4,000 a month to rent an apartment in Boston, but if you go a little farther out, I've got a great crew here from Lowell, right? It's affordable to stay in Massachusetts and to have a great job, whether it's in life sciences or many of the other areas that we heard about, AI, robotics, right? All these things are great opportunities for a recent graduate that we want to keep here in Massachusetts.
And so if you could answer the question, but also comment on what the vulnerabilities might also be.
So, UMass and moderator taking institution in Massachusetts are the producers. The companies like KabaFusion really are the
Also, just checking.
Okay. Now it's on.
Thank you very much.
I think I was talking loud enough that everybody could hear me. Yeah, so KabaFusion is really the place where all these students, at least some of them who are in life sciences will end up. So we are the consumers. So you are the producers, we are the consumers. KabaFusion is a nationwide company. I have like 30 some offices nationwide in every state pretty much. So what we are focusing on is how can we train these students while they're still going to school for life sciences. And we have started an internship program and also a residency program for pharmacy, nursing, and law students. So my corporate office in Lexington, Massachusetts, and in Cerritos, Los Angeles are really the key places where students come and they are trained for life sciences. The challenges that we see these days are really because my industry is a niche industry. Home infusion is still a place not too many people know. Home infusion industry started really in the mid-'80s when there was a HIV/AIDS going on, and we came up with the process of providing those patients at home with services. So now, even after 40 years, we're still like part of the industry. So Canadian not that experience coming out of no clue what my industry does, and that's why we have the internship delegates.
Another question for both of you. Automation and technological advancements are reshaping industries, and local universities play a crucial role in equipping students with the skills they need to thrive. How are Boston's educational institutions identifying the skills of the future and adapting their curriculum to ensure graduates are ready for careers in evolving life sciences and healthcare sectors? Hey, so how you want to go first?
Yeah, exactly. So definitely in every aspect of our life, automation is taking a big chunk of how businesses work. KabaFusion is a company which provides patients at home with nursing and intermediate drugs. So for us, automation is very important. Number one, in the pharmacies that we have nationwide, bringing in automation cuts down on the number of employees we need, and also patients at home by providing them with the specialized, sophisticated ingredient points, and also monitoring gadgets like pulse oximetry and blood pressure monitoring, like being able to reduce the nursing costs. So for us, automation is really very important, and we keep focusing on how we can improve on bringing more organizations.
Sure, yes. Obviously, at the university, we're constantly focused on making sure that we are educating our students so that not only do they, when they graduate, they're ready to go, but they know how to keep up with what's changing, right? Because the one thing that we know is things are going to keep changing, and we don't want to train a student who is great on day one, but 5 years later, right? They're not adapting. So a lot of what we do, I mean, we've got 17,000 students, more than half of them are in the STEM area. Last 2 years, computer science has been our hottest major, but we want to make sure that those computer science students understand, how do I use that for life sciences? How do I apply computer sciences to business? How do I connect that? And I think you've heard the common message. Getting those internships and getting their opportunity to work in companies and see where the opportunities are going that excite them, that's how they start to think about, what elective am I going to take that couples with my core major to make myself able to adapt quickly. And so that's one of the things that we're doing in terms of AI, robotics, automation.
And Chancellor Chen, I'd like to throw you a question specifically. UMass Lowell has established significant collaborations through initiatives like the Lowell Innovation Network Corridor, with a projected $3.7 billion economic impact. How is the university aligning its academic and research priorities to meet the demands of both local life science industries and the broader local market?
Yeah, wonderful question. So I could talk all day about the Lowell Innovation Network Corridor, but it is the link. And if you want to see more, you can go to the website, lowell-inc.com. But I have to give a shout out to a couple of folks here. We've got a great contingent from Lowell, but the city manager, Tom Golden, the mayor, Dan Rourke. This is truly a partnership, because the concept there is that we're working with a private developer to build buildings where companies are going to reside right on campus. Draper signed on as the anchor tenant. They're moving the electronics group there, 700 jobs ultimately over a period of years. Why do they do that? Because they want the talent. They recognize that by interacting with our students when they're freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, right? Interacting with our faculty to understand where's the technology going. That gives them a leg up. Mass General Brigham, life sciences, right? They signed on to be a partner looking at human performance. And one of the things that I think is key and a big advantage to being so closely connected between industry and university is that most of the innovation happens by intersecting or connecting things. So you have the expertise in the life science, but you need someone who knows something about AI or robotics. You have a medical device. You need someone who knows something about, how do I develop a manufacturing process to make that safely and to test that. So companies, small or large, often have a focus in a particular area, but by being connected to the university, they get access to the breadth that they need to make that innovation happen.
And in what ways is UMass Lowell collaborating with life sciences and the biotech sector in the region to ensure Greater Boston continues as a hub for those segments? And what concerns are companies in those areas expressing?
Yeah, so one of the things that we connect is by helping to connect across industry sectors. I think that is, sometimes you say life sciences and people get this image of a person in a white coat and a lab bench, right? The life sciences sector is medical device, neurology, right? Mental health. It's so many biomanufacturing. It's that breadth that gives Massachusetts the strength that it needs. You never want to be a narrow one silo entity, because then you're at risk. Something will come and take over your market. So that breadth is something that is a strength of Massachusetts and a strength certainly of UMass. I think the other thing that's important to recognize is the risk is the message that young people are hearing, right? They're going, expensive. It's too expensive to be in Boston. Maybe I'll go move south or something like that. The reality is you only have to maybe move 20 miles north or 20 miles south or 20 miles west before it actually becomes affordable based on the great jobs that are available here in the Commonwealth. So I think that's the message we need to convey. And I'm thankful that the economic development bill for the state just got passed, and that includes a program that's focused on giving companies a tax credit to increase the number of internships that they provide. Because what does that do? It gets these students connected to your companies. And if that leads to you hiring some of them, their first job is here. They start to grow roots. They start to think, okay, I love living in Lowell. I love living in Worcester and Fall River. And it's affordable given the kind of work that I'm doing. That strengthens Boston and Greater Boston and Massachusetts as all.
Dr. Masood, in your interview with Invest this year, you mentioned that KabaFusion is at the forefront of home-based healthcare services. How is the company navigating the challenging landscape of life sciences, particularly with the rise of personalized medicine and gene therapies, while addressing the challenges of reimbursement and drug pricing?
That's a very good question. The way I look at it, historically, medicine has been a place where drugs come out, but really there are very few cures. We all know that most of the diseases are chronic, long-term, but the results are not where patients can be completely cured. So I think that in the last 10 years and moving forward, I see a lot of new drugs coming out, which will really be life-changing or be cures. We saw in our lifetime, which I never thought will happen, is that hepatitis C and what a cure. HIV/AIDS became a disease that people manage and they can live with. Recently, there were advances in sickle cell anemia where genetic gene therapy kind of therapy was introduced to at least reduce the recurrences of that disease. And also we saw that the rampant growth of COVID-19 was stopped by vaccine actually developed locally. So I'm very positive about developments in healthcare, especially in medicine. But definitely there are challenges, and the way I look at it, newer drugs coming out mean that there is a lot more cost to the parents. In the past, the parents, let's say Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts, will be concerned about having patients in the hospital. And so hospital stay was the biggest thing. Now actually the drugs. And very soon the parent will switching their focus from hospital stay to how to manage and keep paying for these expensive drugs. And then when the drugs are expensive, it means that the patients will have a bigger copay deductible. And how would they manage to pay thousands of dollars of copay deductible for these life-saving drugs? So what we have been doing at KabaFusion nationwide is we are talking to the manufacturers and also non-profit organizations to see if they can help the patient with their copay and deductible. So whenever any one of you guys are using those drugs, keep in mind that there are organizations out there who can help you with your copay and deductible. The last thing is that we talked about gene therapy. Right now, most of the gene therapy treatments are done in teaching institutions. But as time goes by, my feeling is that we will be able to give them to patients in ambulatory infusion centers, and eventually at home. Home is the best place for patients to get their therapy done in the safety and comfort of their own home. So that is my point.
And how do partnerships with both educational institutions and other organizations shape KabaFusion's growth strategies? And in turn, how do these strategies then influence the growth of the life sciences sector?
So for any industry to grow and be successful, talent is required. And as I see our offices in the states like Massachusetts or California, or New York, New Jersey, even in Illinois, we believe that there are a lot of good teaching institutions and they can train our future employees. So who are your students right now, they will be our employees. So what we have done at KabaFusion, like I said before, is that we have introduced the internship program. and also residency programs where internships are the short term where the patient students will come and they will be trained in certain part of the profession, either as pharmacy or nursing or the legal aspects of our industry, because again, it's a very unique industry. But in other cases, we have residency programs, which are like a year-long program. The students who finish their graduation, they're done with the school, they come to us, they spend 1 year learning the nitty-gritty of our home fusion industry, and eventually either they are hired by us with our preference, or they may go and work for somebody else. So this is how I have done it, KabaFusion. And the goal with the residency program is that we keep focusing on new diseases and new drugs. And for that reason, what I've done is I have created a nonprofit organization called the Immune Disease Foundation, and we are looking at a lot of innovation in healthcare and research. Currently, we are supporting ongoing research on diabetic neuropathy, which is really the leading cause of foot amputation in patients who have diabetes.
Well, my daughter has ultra rare genetic disorder, and she does home infusions for her medication once a week, and it is a lifesaver because I've also done at hospital infusions. And now finding myself in the rare disease space, I've also learned a lot about repurposing medications and drugs. And I was unaware that something that might be on the market for something could be used as something else. I guess I can think of one major drug that maybe you all know of as well. On an early Friday morning conversation. Anyway, could that also impact costs of repurposing drugs?
So again, the cost of drug doesn't change, but as the uses grow, definitely we look at the availability of the drug, and also sometimes there's a scarcity of drug. One of the drugs, which I call it miracle drug in 1992, is totally the miracle drug is intravenous immunoglobulin. And IVIG has been used for many different diseases, including neuromuscular diseases, dermatological disorders. If you guys know, Celine Dion just came out saying that she had a Stiff-Person syndrome. And that is one diagnosis that I gave drug to NIH 30 some years ago, 25 years ago, and got it approved through FDA. So it's Stiff-Person syndrome is one of the diseases that IVIG was repurposed for that. But there's one thing good about these drugs that we are finding cures. So there are some skin disorders called pemphigus and pemphigoid diseases, which are mostly soft tissue diseases. And there's really no other treatment except for IVIG. And that cures the disease in 5 years treatment. Before, patients used to lose their eyesight, they used to lose their soft tissue in the body. So eventually we found that repurposing the disease, the drug for new diagnoses is actually much cheaper than finding new drug and going through the clinical trial.
Well, I have a couple more questions to wrap up today's discussions because I know that we have a big program today. So throwing the last one to you, Julie. How can local businesses better align with academic institutions to foster a robust ecosystem?
Yeah, I think the easiest entree, and I know there's a lot of banks here that work with companies. I think the easiest entree starts with the talent, because every company will say we need more talent. And to recognize that with academic institutions, there's a whole range. So for example, in Lowell, we have Middlesex Community College, and we have a great partnership with them. And the idea is that no matter what level you want, whether you look at entry level, whether you're looking bachelor's, whether you're looking doctoral, there are opportunities by partnering with the institutions that are around you to do those internship programs. At UMass Lowell, we also partnered with MassBio to create a second biodiversity site. That's targeted not even at associate's degrees. That's taking people who are underemployed or unemployed, giving them 8-week training so that they can be familiar with what it's like to be in the life sciences sector. And that gets them on the path for continuously getting into companies and then coming back and getting upskilled for other areas. It's such a popular program that we're now looking at it with other industry partners for the cyber area, and for AI and robotics. So ultimately, we're the higher ed, the universities, UMass Lowell, UMass system, and privates in this area. We're interested in working with you. And so we want to have that conversation and understand how can we work together to make sure our talent that's coming out meets with what the needs are, and then that you provide those opportunities so that our students know they can have great jobs and careers right here in Massachusetts.
Great. And so, my last question to you, what skills and knowledge will be critical for the workforce of tomorrow in this dynamic landscape?
So again, like I said, home intrusion is an industry which is still in infancy. 40 years or so ago, we started the industry, but we are still finding that we're having a very hard time finding employees who know about our industry. Most of the students are taught, for example, in pharmacy school, to either go work for the hospital or CVS, Walgreens, but nobody's really taught to work in home infusion, and that's why we started the residency program. But I'm hoping that the universities will look at their center and make sure that there are those allied sciences and alternative places where the services are provided to be part of the curriculum.
Well, Chancellor Chen, Dr. Masood, thank you very much for your comments today. Please give panel one a round of applause. And Chuck, we've done it again.